Hi, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World, and I had to take 1 second. I was driving home last night, and the spirit moved me to talk a little bit about Sandra Bland. Sandra Bland is a 28-year-old black woman who was driving down to Texas looking for a job, and somehow she ended up getting arrested. And in her jail cell through the night, she ended up dying, and the state has somehow concluded that she killed herself. And based on what people know, there really isn't much indication to say that she's a person who would want to kill herself. She was going down south for a new job, which means I assume that she was looking forward to her future. I've not seen anything that says that she was a person that might be suicidal. So obviously, you can imagine I'm very concerned. Um, I am concerned in a way that says that I don't really believe that this is the way things happen, especially given the history that police have of abusing those who they think get out of line or do things they're not supposed to do. Um, and based on what I do know about Sandra Bland, it does appear that she's the kind of person who probably didn't take any old nonsense from a police officer. She was very outspoken. She was a strong black woman, not to use that cliche, but she was very strong. And so it's hard. It's not hard to imagine her having an issue with the police officer at some point, which certainly does not merit abuse or death or incarceration or any of that. There's no indicator in her past or in her life or based on her record as a human being to say that she was a dangerous person. And that's what I really want to really focus on for a second. Is this? I don't understand why Sandra Bland was even in jail in the first place. When I looked up the reason that Sandra got arrested, they said she got arrested or pulled over for an illegal lane change. An illegal lane change. That means you get in another lane and you don't turn on your signal or whatever, or you switch lanes too quick, or I don't know. But why is somebody in jail for an illegal lane change? Why are you even pulling somebody over for an illegal lane change? This I think really exemplifies the absolute horror and tragedy of our criminal justice system. They will lock people up for nothing. People who are normally law abiding citizens who would never hurt a fly, they're locking people up for nothing. I mean, she shouldn't have even been pulled over. You have no right to interfere with this woman's life because she made an illegal lane change. And if you pull her over, um, give her the ticket and let her go. I don't care what she says to you. Oh, that offends you or makes you upset. Um, and in fact, it's funny because people have, the cops I think had said that that Sandra was combative or something, and she fought the police officer. Well, you know what? Our system is so screwed up that I almost feel like people need to fight police officers sometimes, and not all the time. I mean, I'm not an advocate of police brutality or either way. Sorry, battering an officer or an officer battering you or battering any of us. But I mean, come on. I mean, what do you do when you have a society that somehow has concluded that you have to do whatever a cop says, even if the cop is stupid, even if the cop is bothering you when you didn't really do anything wrong. Um, and what Sandra's case really says to me is it really talks about the dangers of even being entangled in the criminal justice system. The criminal justice system is almost like that person in your life where you don't even want them around you because when they're around you, some bad shit is going to go down just because they're around you. You don't know what it's going to be. You don't know what they're going to say. You don't know what if they're going to get in a fight or if they're going to get loud or if they're going to start a fight with you or get you shot. You don't know, so you just avoid the person because they bring negativity into your life, negative outcomes that you never expected. The criminal justice system is the same way. There are so many law-abiding people, good people who would have been productive citizens in society, who had one tiny tangle with the criminal justice system, and based on that tangle, they ended up down this whole trail of horrible outcomes that never would have happened had they not gotten pulled over for an illegal lane change, right? Or have they not even been addressed by a police officer? That's why stop and frisk is so dangerous, and racial profiling is because it increases the possibility that you even interact with a cop. And our cops are so toxic. Our system has become such a poison that just speaking to a police officer could lead you to death. And I'm not kidding. It's not instant death. It's like you talk to the cop gets aggressive with you or rude with you get rude back. Next thing you know, the cop grabs you. You swing your arm to get him off of you. Next thing you know, he's slamming your face into the concrete. Your face is bleeding, and you're being charged with police brutality. So you're stuck with thousands in legal bills trying to defend yourself. You're gonna lose your job in a lot of cases because you're in jail. Nobody wants to hire somebody who's in jail or keep them on the payroll. A lot of times they'll fire you for being in jail. So you lost your job, which affects your family situation because you're not with your kids. Your wife maybe eventually it causes stress in your marriage because you're in jail and you're broke and you're paying all these legal fees to fight this thing that happened because you had a conversation with a cop, right? And then you never know. You get, 30 days in jail because you allegedly beat a police officer or battered a cop because the cop hit you first and but he gets the right to report and tell people what happened. Even so, that means he's going to lie in many cases. So you're in jail for 30 days. You're around rapists, killers, thugs, people that want to hurt you. So people roll up on you, try to do things to you. You get into fights while you're in jail. Next thing you know, you done got stabbed, maybe gotten raped, maybe gotten another charge because you got into a fight because you're dealing with the poison around you, the people around you, the situation that you're in. And then the next thing you know, you're going to prison. I mean, and I know that sounds stupid. That sounds like a really weird chain of events, but I've seen that kind of thing happen where so many horrible things, literally 10 or 15 terrible things occur because you had one conversation with a cop, because you got pulled over for an illegal lane change. And so when I look at Sandra Bland's case, that's what I see. I see a woman who wasn't hurting nobody. I mean, who's an educated law, and not to say that she would deserve this if she wasn't educated, but this was a person who was trying to do something good with her life. Why the hell are you putting her in a jail cell anyway? Why are you bothering her anyway? Let these people live their lives. I mean, that's what bothers me about the Sandra Bland thing. So no matter what the investigation reveals, she should never have been pulled over. She should never have been arrested. She should never have been bothered. She certainly shouldn't have been dead. That's my take on Sandra Bland. I think this situation really shows the tragedy of the criminal justice system. And the tragedy in this case to me is it's reflective of this problem, even if by some small possibility that she decided to kill herself because maybe she was in such a horrible situation that it reignited a depression she might have been feeling before the fact, which led her possibly to take her own life. I don't believe that that's what happened. But I believe anything's possible. But at the same time, the criminal justice system has proven itself to be such a consistent liar, such a consistent abuser, such a consistent toxin that you can't believe anything that they say, especially a bunch of hillbilly cops down in Texas. Because we know what Texas is all about. We know all the horrible things that happen down there, but they happen nationwide, and that's just a fact. That's all I really want to say. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World. May Sandra rest in peace. Talk to you guys soon. Bye bye.